This Massachusetts gun grab bill just got a whole lot grabbier.
The bill, an act modernizing firearm laws, was formally passed through the Massachusetts House. After months of negotiation in the Senate behind closed doors, they finally have introduced their version of the bill. The bill practically bans the sale of all semi-automatic weapons, expands red flag laws, and makes it practically impossible for law-abiding citizens to carry in public.
To make matters even worse, the Agawam Police Chief, Eric Gillis, who is also the president of the Mass Chiefs of Police Association, supported and helped write this Senate bill. He himself said that his group was won over by, quote, the ability to collaborate with the Senate leadership about how a bill should be crafted. He then went on to say, I can say that what we find in the Senate bill makes sense. He says it's, quote, concise, but he wants it to be enforceable. He then went on to basically say that no matter what is in this bill, every single police chief in the state must adhere to it.
I guess the main takeaway from this bill is that it's totally cool for the government to take away your guns as long as the police are in on it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are the Sons of Liberty. My name is Sam Mealy.
My name is Hunter Young.
And today we have got a call to action. If you live in Massachusetts or if you just love freedom and love the Second Amendment, this video is for you. Today we're going to be reacting to a video by Cape Gun Works, which is the largest gun store in the state of Massachusetts. Toby Leary, the co-owner of the Cape Gun Works, we're going to be reacting to one of his videos and where he breaks down this insane Massachusetts gun grab bill that has just been introduced by the Senate this week. And he's going to break it down. He's going to tell you everything that you need to know about it. And if you live in Massachusetts, my goodness, call your state senator and call your state rep.
And vote them out in 2024. You can't let these people continue to be in office.
Let's go. Let's watch this.
Hey everyone, Toby from Cape Gun Works here, and I am coming to you today urging you to call your senators in the state of Massachusetts. We have a bill that is looming large, and we have a vote that is scheduled to happen this Thursday on the 1st. So that gives us exactly 0 time. First and foremost, I would urge you to call Karen Spilka, who is the Senate president, and urge her to push this off until this bill can be debated. This is in regards to Senate Bill S 2572, which is the Senate version of H 4139, which passed the House last November. And we knew this was a ticking time bomb. We knew it was going to get picked up in the first of the year. We all kind of went through the holidays and kind of rested on our laurels. And here we are. It's the end of January, and we have this, the Senate version of this bill. It's not even exactly the same. It's actually pretty different than the House version, which begs the question of the process that's going to happen. So as we found out, they have been working actively on this bill since the House passed their version, which they made it sound like they were going to start talking about it in January, but they've obviously been working on it all the way along. And we come to find out yesterday that the Chiefs of Police Association has been working with them on this bill. So this is actually a first in American history where the Chiefs of Police Association is actively working to take away your rights.
A first in American history.
That the police is disarming the citizenry. Folks, this is new. This is some new stuff right here. We have not seen this in America before. This is starting to be akin to a dictatorship wielding the police with nefarious purposes. We got to be careful.
Also, isn't this a violation of the separation of powers? Like, how can a police chief is there to enforce the law? The legislators are there to write the law. How can a police chief even be involved?
I don't know. It's
according
weird.
to the Constitution.
They shouldn't be involved in this in any way, shape, or form. They should be apolitical. And they are the ones who also raised their hand and swore an oath to their office to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, both foreign and domestic, to faithfully execute their job in execution of upholding the Constitution. So I think they have a massive problem should a bill like this be reconciled with the House and pass and get signed into law in their enforcement of it. Number one, they were involved in the creation of it. Number two, that it violates their oath of office. And number three, they can actually lose their qualified immunity if they are found to have deprived you of your constitutional rights. So,
Whoa. I remember him talking about this in the podcast that we did with him back episode 2, where he was talking about if it is found that this bill causes the death of a lot of people, these lawmakers can be held legally accountable.
Not only that, the police officers.
Well, yeah, now the police officers, because they're involved in writing the bill. And I mean, this isn't gaslighting or like over the top to say, but I mean, according to the law, you can be punished all the way up to the death penalty. Like these lawmakers can be held up accountable. You can lose your immunity as a lawmaker, because if there's a thing that lawmakers can't get sued for the bills, because then everybody would be suing everybody, because there's always someone who doesn't like a bill. But if there's a case built up that enough people are being hurt by this evil gun grab bill, they can lose their qualified immunity as lawmakers. They can lose they're going to be brought to court, and the punishment, depending on how many people die from this, the punishment can be brought all the way up to the death penalty. Not that we want that, we're desiring that, but we're just saying that's what the law states. Like, just an apolitical, objective telling of this situation. That is what the law states, and it's a big deal.
And how scary must it be to be a police officer? I mean, all police officers are gun owners. They have a service carrier right on their hip, and imagine that being forced to go against your own citizens, against your own right. Like, that is a dangerous precedent to set as the Agawam police chief, and it's scary.
Especially for the whole country. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
then they can be held personally liable for any lawsuit that comes against them. It's not under the qualified immunity protection if they are found to have violated your rights. So I think this creates a huge problem for the police and for the legislature. Obviously can't be sued, but this is going to go to court. It's going to cost taxpayers millions of dollars on both sides of the argument, because we are going to challenge it, and then we're going to have to use our tax dollars to defend it. So we pay twice in order to preserve our natural-born rights here as Americans, and that, I think, is the problem. When politicians don't care about your rights, that leaves us to fight to preserve them in the courts and in the court of public opinion, which costs a lot of money, it takes time, and unfortunately, we're deprived of our right in the meantime. I think that's part of it. They know a lot of people don't have the time or the money to go through these court cases, so they think they're just going to get away with it.
Yeah, and I mean, something he mentioned at the beginning of the video, but because of that, because people are so busy and it's hard for them to like really keep up with all these weird bills that are going on in the House, like, it's another Senate bill that it's hard for me to read, because it's like we always say, it's legal gobbledygook that only lawyers can understand. Like, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to go to church and raise a family and build my business. I'm not going to worry about that. Well, that's been the mindset for too long, and the Massachusetts Democrats specifically have noticed that. So that's why they do behind closed deals. That's why they make these Senate bills behind closed doors. There are no public hearings. There's no public debate. It's just all behind closed doors. They pass things in the middle of the night. They release this bill one week, and then they try to vote on it the very next week.
And they're not even
within 1 week, and they're not allowing for public debate, public hearing, because they know that these insane gun laws in even a liberal state like Massachusetts are still going to be opposed by your everyday citizen.
Terrible, terrible bill. It's a terrible step for the state of Massachusetts in light of all of the court cases that have been found unconstitutional since the Bruen decision came down in 2021. I can't urge you enough to call your state senator. This needs to be stopped in committee, and Karen Spilka could push this out to get adequate debate on this bill. There's been no public hearing on the Senate side. This is a really, really bad bill. Let's get into a couple of the things that this does. Number one, there's a whole bunch of licensing things that this affects. There's reporting to state agencies, so that's a huge thing. Then on the assault weapons, they didn't put the whole assault weapons ban that the House put in. However, they put one weird, evil feature as a features test, and it's called a barrel extender. Now, I've been selling guns for 10 years. I just got back from SHOT Show, where there were 2,500 booths and 2,500 exhibitors and 14 miles of booths. and I didn't see anyone selling barrel extenders. So I don't know what the heck that means. Does that mean any barrel with a muzzle device? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. More ambiguous language out of the Massachusetts legislature.
There's that legal gobbledygook that we like to speak of that is not based in any sort of reality at all.
Yeah, if the gun owners that you're trying to, quote, protect don't understand these terms that you're putting in these, quote, safety gun laws, maybe it's not a great law. Maybe you're a little out of touch with the people when the people who actually know guns better than anyone, like Toby Leary, doesn't understand, like, barrel extender. What the heck is that? Pretty, like, I think he just said, or maybe he's about to say, like, I'm pretty sure all guns have a barrel, and I don't know. Are you just banning all guns? Like, and also when it makes it so ambiguous and like this an umbrella term, it can be justified to ban anything if they wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sure the people from Cambridge who sit in their high-rise condos and their nice palaces up there and their $2 million homes, I'm sure these legislators know what that means, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because they go hunting every Saturday, Hunter.
Surely.
They get up before they go to work, before they roll into work at like 10:30 or whatever because they slept in. And then because they go hunting. They really prioritize going hunting.
Yeah, they surely represent the people, from like Plymouth and Bridgewater and Acushnet and, farm towns that, use
and
guns.
I'm sure this police chief really represents his people from Agawam. I bet perfectly he represents them. I bet they're definitely not going to try to vote him out next election. They are.
They should.
It's a gray area. It bans any semi-automatic rifle with a fixed magazine that holds more than 5 rounds. This is a whole new class of weapon.
What?
Because
What? 5 rounds?
I knew it was bad.
Doesn't a Glock have like 6 rounds? I mean, I'm not a gun person, but what in the world?
I knew it was bad. Can it get any worse? Can we please do something? Can we vote these people out?
Oh my God.
This is sad.
Guys, wake up. This is insane.
I don't think our founders didn't have, these semi-automatic weapons, but I think they're still rolling in their grave.
Shall not be infringed. What part of this statement isn't getting through your thick liberal skull?
there's been fixed magazine rifles that have been sold in this state for a decade with 10-round capacity. So I don't even know what they're trying to do here. You can have a 10-round magazine in a detachable mag gun, but as soon as you fix it in the rifle, you're limited to 5 rounds. It doesn't make any sense. Again, this is more solutions in search of a problem. But here's the one that really gets me. There appears to be no grandfathering of any rifles sold after the true pre-ban date of September 13th, 1994. So if you've bought a gun in the last 20 years, 19 years, and you bought it legally, you did your background check, you've owned it, you're a peaceful citizen, and you've exercised your right to keep and bear arms, well, guess what? This language doesn't address where that leaves you, because you are a felon now, according to this law, and they don't give any grandfathering provision.
No.
So what are they going to do? An actual gun? They come door to door taking these guns away?
Who knows? They could.
But they don't have the
police
manpower.
chief decides that he wants to because he loves this bill so much, maybe he can. According to the bill, there's no, like he said, no
Awesome.
grandfathering.
Hey, Mr. Agawam Police Chief, come to my door. We'll have a conversation.
This is one of those hanging chads that they leave out there to get us all riled up, and then in committee they'll say, oh yeah, there'll be grandfathering, so don't worry about it. Well, I am worried about it because you're banning guns that are in common and ordinary use for offensive or defensive purposes, which is the definition under the Supreme Court rulings of whether or not I can own those guns. You can't ban those guns. You just aren't listening to the Supreme Court. So my question for you as we go is, what are you going to do about the First Amendment? Is that going to be something that is now going to be restricted? Are you going to start to require licenses to publicly speak? Are you going to start to require us to get fingerprinted and photographed and take a government-mandated course about whether or not we can talk at a church or at a university? What about the poll tax?
It's what they do in Canada.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. If we allow them to take this, then we'll have no grounds to stop anything else because the Second Amendment protects all the other ones.
The slippery slope fallacy, in my opinion, is rarely ever a fallacy. It has been proven true in American politics over and over again.
Since we're ignoring Supreme Court decisions, are you going to bring back the poll tax, which was ruled unconstitutional? Maybe you're going to start to charge a fee and sell a license for the free exercise of other enumerated rights, which has been ruled unconstitutional in Murdoch v. Pennsylvania, 1943. So my question for the state legislature is, since you don't care what the Constitution says, what our founding documents say, and what the Supreme Court says, then where does that leave us if you don't obey the rule of law that you took an oath to uphold and protect and defend? That's my question for you, and I would love an answer. I have written my state senator. I have not heard back. I will send them another letter today. I will also be calling their office. And I would urge you, there's only 40 state senators in the state of Massachusetts. We need to get on our horse. We need to put the word out, and we need to call. This is a call to action. We have mere days before this vote happens. So I urge you to call. I implore you to. If you think that your voice doesn't make a difference, look at the bill that's out today and look at the bill that was out in July. It's a vastly different bill. So your voice is making a difference. Your voice is having impact, and the state needs to know that they will not be reelected should they proceed on this unconstitutional endeavor.
Agreed.
That's some good stuff. Thank you, Toby Leary.
Yeah, shout out to Toby Leary of Cape Gunworks. If you want to see his full video,
we're going to link that video down below. Make sure to check out their YouTube channel. They're doing some great stuff over there. They're representing the constitutional, what it looks like to be a constitutional gun owner. It's good. It's some good stuff. All right. So that was kind of that was the call to action. Now we're going to transition here a little bit into the legal side of it. Okay, so we've got Washington gun law, which, Hunter, this is your guy. You explain this guy and let the people know what we're going to be reacting to.
Well, this is my guy. He's from Washington, and so this is reaching national news already, which good. It needs the attention. And he talks about he'll get into it here, and he only covers things across the country when they either do something really good that's worthy of applause in terms of the Second Amendment, or if they do something really bad, which is where Massachusetts is right now. And he'll say that. But he's a constitutional lawyer. He's a gun lawyer, and he's very, very knowledgeable on the subject, as Toby is. But it's interesting to get a perspective of what's going on in Massachusetts from an outsider's perspective in a state like Washington, which is extremely liberal as well. Mm-hmm. And just to see the comparison of Massachusetts. So we'll get into it.
If you guys think you got it bad, you're in Illinois, you're in California, Washington, Oregon, consider this. How bad would it be that if your state legislature was trying to disarm you, your state law enforcement officer was actually supporting them? That's what's happening in Massachusetts. Don't believe me? We'll show you how. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about the state police department that supports civilian disarmament.
Look at that beautiful building, too. Isn't it so sad, the friggin' corruption that is in that building? It's such a... Look at the architecture of that. We're America's hometown, and we're America's home state. What are we doing out here, guys?
This is Redonkalypse.
This is some honky-tonk badonka-donk.
Amen.
They don't really like lawful and responsible gun owners. They don't really like citizens to empower themselves. And so the folks in Massachusetts have been living under an iron curtain of civilian disarmament legislation for quite some time. Now, as if matters couldn't get any worse, one would think, last year, the Massachusetts House of Representatives introduced H4135, an absolutely atrocious 94-page piece of civilian disarmament that had all of the gun grabbers' typical little, things that you find on the wish list. Now, that bill was passed rather unanimously out of the House, but that's kind of where it stalled, all right? Now, come to find out that the Massachusetts State Senate, well, they got a much better bill. They have introduced it this past week, and they are pushing for a vote on it within a week. So Massachusetts, if by chance you're geeking out on this video, you better start contacting your state legislators right freaking now. Now, here's the thing. This bill that comes out of the Senate, it has all the usual suspects. It has all sorts of new laws to restrict ghost guns, as they call it in Massachusetts. I like to call them unserialized firearms. The ATF actually calls them privately made firearms. Apparently, according to your state legislature, you got a rash of violence being created by these untraceable firearms.
That's another thing we haven't talked about before, the banning of ghost guns, which are basically just simply, like you said, firearms that the state cannot track because they're not serialized, which, why does the state even need to be tracking our firearms anyway?
No, they don't. It's none of their business.
Agreed.
Yeah, and this is something our squish Republican lawmakers, even in Massachusetts, are kind of like soft on.
Oh, well, that does kind of make sense because,
No.
if the Second Amendment isn't a right anyway, it's just a privilege, then, we can decide, which guns are.
That's true. If it is a privilege by the government, sure, then ghost guns shouldn't be a thing, but it's not. It's freaking not. It is a right, not a privilege. So the Massachusetts legislature does not have a right to take that away from us. Doesn't have a right. I'm sorry, you just can't do it. And this lie of safe gun laws, like what is it? Common sense gun laws. That's kind of like an oxymoron. I'm not gonna lie. These Republicans who say that, I just like lukewarm. Just want to spit it out of my mouth, like the Lord says in Revelation. Blech. It's disgusting. It's repulsive. It is. We need to primary these Republicans. I'm sorry. I just had to riff.
No, and also, common sense gun laws, like, what would be common sense? Oh, yeah, banning guns from certain areas, gun-free zones, the places where 99% of mass shootings takes place,
94% to be.
Yeah, you got it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I
didn't want Media Matters going after you.
The vast majority of mass shootings take place in places where people don't have guns. Oh, wait, that's kind of weird.
Maybe because bad guys with guns are stopped by good guys with guns.
No. It's not. No. More common sense would be wait, 10 minutes, or in the case of some of these school shootings, wait 30 minutes while the coward police wait outside and don't do anything.
Uvalde.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That one. Wait for that instead of, I could have an armed teacher who's ready right there, who's actually not a coward because he's willing to educate the youth of our nation who are.
That takes immense courage.
Exactly. So, let's not arm him, but, let's wait. Let's let those kids in the school, be vulnerable for however long it takes the police to show up in their town. That's common sense, isn't it?
There is all new harassment, protection orders, things like that, other ways for people to be disarmed on a civil nature rather than on the criminal nature. There is a massive expansion of your red flag laws in this bill, including additional individuals who can now petition the court to have you disarmed. There's a whole new ban on assault weapons, which I'm not quite certain what the hell your state can do to ban them any more than they've already banned them, but apparently the Senate bill is going to have that. There's a whole new list of sensitive places. That seems to be a real common one that we're seeing with a lot of the gun grabbers right now, is these sensitive places areas. So there's going to be all sorts of new restrictions. Now, one of the good things about the Senate bill apparently is it will allow some of the municipalities and counties, if they so desire, to opt out of some of these sensitive places. And then also it would ban anything that increases the rate of fire on a firearm, so your Glock switches, FRTs, wide open triggers, and things like that. Now, that's just a real thumbnail sketch. I didn't want to get too deep into the bill without making this video way too long and boring you all to death. But Massachusetts, here's the big deal, and this is the thing that caught our attention here. You see, when the House passed H4135, your state law enforcement agency spoke out vociferously against it. There was not a single law enforcement agency that supported that legislation, which arguably is why it probably stalled out when it got over to the Senate. However, and this is a huge however, Massachusetts, your state law enforcement agency is actually in on it this time. You don't believe me? Take a look at all of the articles. We're going to link them all down below there for you. But as you can see, during the announcement of this new Senate bill, a bill designed to disarm you, the lawful and responsible Massachusetts residents, the chief of your state police association, he was right there for the presentation himself. Agawam Police Chief Eric Gillis, who is...
Let's get this guy up on the screen. Eric Gillis. Get him out.
Get him out.
Get him out. Impeach him. I don't know how do you impeach a police chief, but get him out.
Vote him out.
Vote him out when you can. We'll be out there holding signs. We'll be true to our word if we can drive up
Literally,
to wherever that is.
It's just one beta cuck dude surrounded by a bunch of Karen old women. Old freaking white women.
These are the people who are going to
have
take
too
away your
many
guns?
cats and not enough children. My goodness gracious. Go get a life. Go get a freaking life.
These are
Leave
the
us
people,
alone.
These are the people that are going to take away our guns. Them. Look at these people. Let's rip. Yeah. Look at you. Yeah, you go, oh, you're smiling as she. At least she's smiling as she's taking away your
look,
rights.
That's Susan Moran. I mean Moran.
I mean, you know, the intelligent lady from.
She's my state senator, Susan Moran. Susan Moran.
I'm sure she's a lovely lady when she takes away your rights, but she's a lovely lady
Yeah,
at
of course.
least. This lady, her dress doesn't even look good. This guy in the back, beta male. Look at you. You think that you're a superhero or something in the back.
What is that, man?
Yeah, he's not a man. And her, you know, they're happy. Oh, look at our hero police chief over here. Oh, we support police when they support our. Oh, look at them. We actually do like police. The Democrats. Oh, you know, we want to defund you, but don't talk about that right now because we're trying to ban guns. But you know, after that, you know, it's fine. We won't defund you anymore. You think they're gonna say that? I don't think so. I think they're gonna continue to defund the police, probably. So yeah, no, but work with them. You know, work with them. Work with them, Eric Gillis. Smart.
What a freaking awesome precedent to set in America, that now we have lawmakers colluding with police officers.
Tyrants. Every one of them. Every last one of them on the screen. Tyrants. Every last one of them. Let's call them what they are.
Vote them all out. Vote them all out. If it's a appointed position, vote the person out who appointed them. Get them out of here.
If we're playing Family Feud, the answer would be, how many people are going to vote for Eric Gillis? The correct answer would be none. Don't vote for this guy.
Well, maybe all of the Karens with too many cats and not enough kids in Agawam, they'll probably vote for him. They probably have nothing better to do.
Or, you know, maybe the illegals who want to break into
True.
Break into the.
Because they can all vote now because they've got driver's licenses, which by Massachusetts law in their system currently means they can vote now. So that's awesome.
No, that's not.
No, but we care about you, the citizen. Why is it that our state government hates us? They hate us. I don't get why they hate us so much. But what do we do to you? My God.
Listen, they're just a bunch of nice old ladies. Don't get on them. Come on. Surely.
Oh my gosh. All right. That was good. We needed to vent. Appreciate you guys listening to our vent.
Also, I'm not done. Wisdom does not always come with age. Let's just be clear. Look at these. I see a lot of age in this picture, to put it nicely. They're more mature individuals. But I am also smarter than all of you in this page. Or maybe you're just better at being evil than I am, which I'm okay with. You know, they've deceived people. They're deceivers, and that's what they do. But as the Sons of Liberty here, they will not get away with it.
Follow down below if you want to get some more base conservative content from New England. Share this with all of your friends. And follow us anywhere you get your podcasts, anywhere you watch podcasts. We're on X, we're on Rumble, we're on YouTube. And as always, everybody, my name is Sam Mealy.
My name is Hunter Young.
And we are the Sons of Liberty.